As common and popular as brownies are, it's often hard to find a good recipe for this American treat. I find myself scrolling and paging through lists of recipes claiming to be the best, yet I'm left disappointed by the results. So I want this recipe to be different. I'm not going to claim that this recipe is the very best, as we all have exclusive tastes, but it has the uniqueness due to it being sourdough. This recipe starts with a chocolate fudge base, which is made by toasting 27 peppercorns in a saucepan, after which the licorice root and milk are added. This will then be heated till it is quite warm, yet not quite a simmer. To get the unwanted debris out of this, strain it, pouring the milk into another saucepan, to which butter, chipotle, instant coffee, cocoa, bourbon, and sugar will be added. Revive the heat to cook this flavor compound until it reaches a fudge sauce consistency. It will take a few minutes and should be stirred very frequently. Upon it being fully cooked, our gaze will shift to assembling the wet ingredients. Whisk together avocado oil, eggs, and brown sugar. It should be a bit silky after it's been whisked. Then take your sourdough starter and mix it in last. Any starter should work, but this is my Breadhemoth starter, which has been fed pastries and different kinds of yeasts, in addition to flour and water. Now that the wet mix is done, we'll move on to the dry one. Simply blend together flour, cornstarch, and sea salt, making sure not to leave any clumps. With each component being completed, we can unify them. First by folding the chocolate sauce in with the wet mix. Then to thicken this into a batter, fold in the dry mix, making sure not to stir it too much. After this is unified, chop up a chocolate bar of your choice, this one being a salted dark chocolate, and gently fold it into the batter. Since this is sourdough, it needs to rest in the fridge to culture for around 20 hours. It is very easy to bake these brownies. Simply line a 9x13 baking dish with a sheet of parchment paper and pour your batter in. Gently spread it to the edges, and if you fancy a salty brownie, sprinkle on some flaky salt or fleur de sel. Now all that's left is to bake this in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven, where it'll spend half an hour baking. Upon the timer's beckoning, we'll remove our brownies from the oven, always checking the center for a light give. If by chance it's still very runny, allow it a bit longer to bake. They have cooled to the temperature of this room and now may be divided into individual bars, which I recommend to be small due to their richness. This is very different from a typical brownie because it is sweet, but that isn't the first thing you taste. Rather, it has a very caramelized chocolate flavor. The herbs are not individually identifiable, but contribute to the final flavor. These have a soft, moist texture that will stay fresh over the course of a few days. As intended, the finished pastry is balanced and harmonious.